Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel, welcome back. Maryam here. Today we have another episode of Makeup for Real Life, for real life situations, featuring this very summer-proof makeup look. So now in this video or in this series, I like to take you through a tutorial, through tips and tricks and techniques using some of my favorite current products, some of my go-tos to help you look your best in real life. Not just in studio lights, not just in pictures, also in pictures, but mainly in real life. So I'm going to show you close-ups of what my skin looks like in real light. I'm going to talk you through all of my techniques to help your summer makeup stay waterproof, stay sweat-proof, humidity-proof, and basically look beautiful at the end of the day in real light. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Remember to subscribe if you aren't already. Hit that notification bell so you can watch all my Wednesdays and Sunday videos. And now, let's get into this video. Makeup for Real Life Summer Edition. Let's summer-proof our makeup, shall we? First and foremost, SPF, super duper duper important. I have this new Get Even Sun Milk SPF 33 moisturizer from Josie Maran. You guys know how much I love Josie Maran if you have been watching my videos for a while. This is a mineral sunscreen, so no chemical ingredients. I say that because my skin is personally not compatible with chemical sunscreens. They are not meant for sensitive, acne-prone skin like mine. So I am always and forever using mineral sunscreens like Josie's. They are also reef safe. That means a lot to me. But this moisturizer, the Get Even Sun Milk, I have not tried before. It has some Cacao Superfruit Blend plus sheer argan hydration. Love argan oil. Another fave for oily AF acne-prone skin, because it's non-comedogenic, does not clog pores. So what I'm gonna do is apply this liberally all over my face, making sure I don't miss any spots. I mean, of course we should be applying sunscreen all year round, but with summertime approaching and pretty much being here, it is important to increase your SPF. So keep in mind that Josie Maran products, as well as Murad and a couple of other sunscreens that I love, I'll list them below, do offer higher SPF, like 47, like 50. So if you need higher protection, do check out those brands. This feels really, really lovely on the skin. It makes the skin feel really smooth. But as with all skincare products, I like to let them absorb into my skin before applying any makeup. So what I'm gonna do is actually move on to other products before I start covering up my imperfections and things like that. So what I'm gonna do next is kind of out of order, and also I'm gonna be using a TikTok-y technique for my brows today. You've seen me do this before, but I really like it, especially if you're gonna be hanging out by the pool or on the beach, especially if you're gonna be like in a humid type of condition. I am going to be using my latex-free strip lash adhesive from Kiss on my brows because I do want to glue down my brows today. So I'm going to apply this quickly, very quickly, because this sets super, super fast. I'm going to brush out the glue through my brows and it's pretty much set. It's set exactly where you brush it, exactly where you leave it, so you have to go quickly. If you're not satisfied with the shape, like I'm not totally satisfied with the shape, probably fix that later or with like the additional products that you will be applying on top. But for now, this is the shape, is what I'm going for. All right, let's move on to the second brow. You also don't need a ton of product. This is glue and a little bit does go a long way, but just depending on how coarse or how thick or how much brow hairs you have will depend on how much product you need. A lot of people on TikTok were asking me how do I actually remove this from my brows at the end of the day, and the answer is Clinique. Take the day off. Eye makeup remover, it comes in a bottle and it is the best. Basically, I apply it to a cotton swab. I kind of soak my brows in this formula and then I just remove. Or sometimes I like to use a Q-tip and kind of back comb my brows to remove any excess glue. But it's super easy. Not a problem at all, doesn't rip out any hairs, totally safe. I like the way that this brow turned out better than this one, but I can live with this one, it's okay, it's not hideous. Next thing I'm gonna do is apply my Keys Soul Care Sheer Tint Blush. I really, really, really like this one. I've talked about it a lot. And I'm gonna apply this one with my little Eco Tools brush right on top of my sunscreen moisturizer, kind of heavily, blending into the temples, almost lifting into the brow bone, and just giving my cheeks a nice sheer but noticeable flush. This is one of my favorite blushes at the moment because it has incredible ingredients such as sunflower seed oil and safflower seed oil. These are very nourishing for the skin, but they are totally safe for acne-prone skin because these oils are a 0 on the comedogenic scale, so they do not clog pores, they do not cause breakouts, so totally safe to use, good for your skin, which is why I'm applying it right on top of my sunscreen. But it does look crazy at the moment. Oh, also I should add that if you don't like the stickiness of lash glue on your brows, you might want to set it with like a translucent setting powder. But because my eyebrows are very dark, I can't set it. It makes my eyebrows look gray, or it makes them look kind of white, so I can't necessarily do that. And then setting them with a dark powder just makes them look weird, so I skip that step altogether. The stickiness doesn't really bother me, but keep that in mind. Of course, I have cat hair that I need to remove from somewhere. So while I'm waiting for my sunscreen to become one with my skin, I was looking for a word to say. Sunscreen doesn't really absorb, it kind of just sits on top of your skin. I actually don't want my sunscreen to absorb, which is why I don't like chemical sunscreens. Those do absorb, and I don't want them to. I don't want chemicals to go into my skin, okay? It's not for sensitive skin, like I said. But anyway, I'm gonna move on to some other things that I wanna do. Namely, I wanna move on to the eyes. So something simple, something that I think will make your life, and also my life, a lot easier when it comes to summer makeup are these Bobbi Brown crayons. These are genius. They've been around for a long time. They're called the Long Wear Cream Shadow Stick, and basically they come in a million different colors. All of them are very wearable. Some are shimmery, some are matte. Right now I think I have a bunch of shimmery ones, so I'm just gonna pick up a few shades like this beautiful peach mimosa. You don't need a primer underneath. I'm gonna glide that from the inner corner to the outer corner, all the way across my lid, just like that. Beautiful, shimmery, visible, easy. Easy is the word here. Also, this won't move or budge. This will give you that summertime sparkle that you're looking for, but not too much effort. I like to just apply it on and then blend out easily with my finger to tone down the color. Of course, with these, there's no fallout because, well, they're cream, so cream doesn't fall out. I'm gonna take another shade, Espresso. This one's just like a beautiful coffee tone. Gonna add a little dimension to my outer corners, just like that. Just kind of dabbing it there at first. And then I'm gonna take a stiff brush, or maybe not so stiff, maybe just like a dome-shaped brush like this, from Motives Precision Crease. And I'm gonna quickly blend that in and then diffuse that out. You do have to move quickly here because these shadow sticks do set very quickly, and they set for an all-day wear. So basically expect them not to go anywhere once you set them. But I'm gonna grab one more shade because of course I didn't move quickly enough. Grabbing the shade Smoky Topaz. I'm gonna use that as a transition between this shade and the previous. And quickly this time, buff it out. Boom, bam. So now you've got yourself a very easy, slightly lifted smoky eye. I'm gonna apply a little bit more to this area here. Working with one eye at a time, I just noticed that's easier. Oh yeah. All right, so all together right now, this doesn't look amazing because it's a process, but I always want to remind you, it's a process, have some faith. Next thing I'm gonna do is go back to the brows. NYX Lift and Snatch is what I like to use. This pen's been leaking though, kind of annoying. I don't know why it's been leaking. Maybe because it's hot. So basically what I'm gonna do here is just gonna add a couple of strokes. The shade I'm using is Espresso, just like that. Essentially, when you have your brows glued down, you can do whatever you want. You can fill them in with powder, or you can fill them in with a pencil, or with a marker like I'm doing. This step is totally up to you. This is just something that I like, so that's what I'm doing. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is gonna go back to the skin. I'm all over the place today, guys. There's a reason to my madness. Alicia Keys Soul Care Let Me Glow Illuminating Serum. I like this one specifically for the high points of my face, specifically to get that glow. So I'm applying this to the perimeter. This is a really lovely product. I like it as a primer and a highlighter because it dries matte. It doesn't dry greasy. It kind of sets. But what's cool is that it sets with a slight hint of shine. So it gives a very natural, believable, glassy glow. Now that I've done that, I am gonna move on to color. For color today, I'm gonna go for this About Face Line Artist Longwear Gel Eyeliner in the shade Electric Slide. I wasn't too crazy about this color when I first swatched it, but because I have a pretty dark base in the outer corner, I think this color might come off a little bit better. This is what I choose to do in the summertime to give my looks a little bit more pop, a little bit more vibrancy, and just more fun. I like to add a pop, so I'm doing that with this liner here, lining heavily from my inner corner to almost the outer corner, but I'm not winging it out because then it'll become a little bit messy in the outer corner since there's already a lot of other waterproof products. Wait, why did I just say waterproof? No, these actually are waterproof products. So sometimes with waterproof products, less is more. You don't want to layer them because then they somehow actually can come off, they can peel off. So you want to be careful with how much you layer. So in this case, I'm only layering it over the lid part and then kinda to the outer corner, but not all the way. I'm keeping the majority of the product in the center and in the inner portion. Next, you already know. I'm gonna go for my Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Color Ink liquid liner. I'm gonna add a wing, a little wing, nothing too crazy. And also I'm gonna add a little bit of contrast. So basically I'm adding the wing to the outer portion of the eye, just so that my colorful liner has a little border, so that it has a little frame. That's what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. So again, a little wing for the win, bringing it back and framing it. This is also a great trick for those of you who want to play with color but are a little too intimidated. This way, it's not as intimidating. You still have the pop of color, but you also still have your safety net of a wing, you know? It's very, very wearable. Except when you do this, you actually have to make the wings match. So hang on, I'm gonna work on that. Much better now that they're matching. We're gonna leave the eyes alone for just a sec. I'm gonna take a tissue and I'm gonna blot all the stickiness from my face. Just like that. Also, I just realized these nails are not me. Forgive me. This is a pre-film video, so I am currently in process of packing for Spain, but I don't like to do my nails until I'm completely done with packing, which is why my nails currently look like this, because I broke half of them. Anyway, by the time this video is up, I will be in Spain for at least a week. So do check out my community board, because I just may be posting some stuff there. So now that I've blotted my skin, I am ready to move on to coverage. Right now, I'm gonna mention again how crazy I look, but not for long. I'm gonna reach for my MaryamNYC Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. Gonna reach for shade Universal first. A little bit this time, not too much. Gonna add that just to my most oily zones. Gonna clean my hands real quick. Just gonna disinfect them. I feel like I've had a couple of blunders today already, so I just wanna make sure that there's nothing on my fingers. Now I'm going to blur out this product and blend it with my skin. Also going to just pat that in to really mattify everything that needs mattifying. I'm strategically mattifying the center of my face, if you notice, which is where I produce the most oils. And then the perimeter of my face is actually quite glowy. We are summer proofing. And I know I'm showing a lot of different techniques, but really it's not complicated at all. Once you get the hang of it, this is something that you could do quickly. Center of the face is matte. Perimeter of the face is glassy and glowing. This is what we want. Next, I'm gonna go a little bit darker with my MaryamNYC. Gonna pick up shade 7. Usually I use shade 6, but today I really wanna add bronziness and I wanna add more color. I'm gonna start with the perimeter of my face, underneath the cheekbones, underneath the jawline. And then I'm really gonna work on blending out the forehead. Gonna grab shade 4 now. This one actually matches my skin perfectly. I'm gonna grab a little bit and I'm gonna reverse contour and highlight all the areas that I didn't touch with shade 7. And suddenly she's starting to come together very slowly. But in real life, this will be much faster. She's coming together. I told you. Let's move on to concealing. Dominique Cosmetics Wide Awake Concealer for the under eye and also to pop out any areas that need to be popped out. For me, it's these areas around the nose, between the brows. Gonna use this Lawless concealer brush. Using very, very minimal product here because I don't want heaviness, I don't want cakiness. Very bright. If it's too bright, I'm gonna grab my brush and just dilute that a pinch. Bring it back to life. Much better. And now working on the under eye, lifting that outer corner like that. And then finally, the under eye. I really like a bright under eye regardless of the season, but obviously it has to work with everything else that I'm doing. So if I have a super bronzed up complexion happening, the under eye, even if it's bright, needs to match. It needs to be a little bit more toned down. So what I'm doing is I'm actually blending it on top, over my cheek, into my temple, so that this looks a little bit more in harmony with everything else. So notice areas like the temple here. If you blend out the concealer too much, you'll kind of start to see it. So you have to make sure that everything is in harmony, that everything is in unison. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm gonna move on to my new favorite, Dominique Cosmetics Wide Awake Powder. And I am going to set solely the concealer, solely the spots where I apply the concealer. So just keep in mind that strategic placement that I'm talking about. Although this may seem like it's a lot of different layers of makeup, it's actually not, because the concealer isn't worn everywhere. It's not all over my face. The only thing that's really all over my face is actually my sunscreen. And then I strategically place my Danessa Myricks bronzer, or the shade that I use for bronzing. I strategically place the primer only to the center of my face. Blush is only on the cheeks. And now I am only setting the areas where I apply the concealer, specifically the areas where I produce a little bit more oils, and also areas that I want to pop out and brighten a little bit more. Next thing I'm gonna do is probably like the final thing for the skin. I'm gonna grab my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. Shade is Cookie Dough 4.3N. And I am going to strategically place a tiny dot of concealer to my spots. Because the Danessa Myricks Balm Powder isn't a full coverage product, it isn't necessarily getting rid of all of my spots and imperfections here. So those I still need to take care of, and I still need to cover up. So that I'm gonna be doing with just the Huda Beauty concealer, which to me has a very liquid to powder formula that I think is very compatible with the Danessa Myricks product. So I'm not gonna be setting this concealer, I'm just gonna be applying it to my points of interest, which is just like a few dots here and there. And then I'm gonna blend that out quickly, and that's gonna be it for the face. I'm gonna use a tiny eye smudge brush for this, just conceal my spots very quickly and effortlessly. And boom. All right, moving on. I am gonna pick up Butterfly, this beautiful blush from Benefit. Smells so good. And this is a somewhat shimmery orange blush. I like it because it just reminds me of summertime, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna grab a big fluffy brush from Mario, dip it into Butterfly, and I am going to kiss my cheekbone with this shade. Because it has a slight luminous shift, like just a little bit of shimmer, I'm going to skip highlighter. And also because I still have the glassiness going from my Keys Soulcare Let Me Glow Serum, just want to enhance that a bit. I'm going to set the borders of that with whatever's remaining on my brush. And what's remaining is basically the blurring balm powder from Danessa. So I just want to mattify any areas that need mattifying, and also just use it to blend out this really beautiful orangey blush. Now I'm officially done with the face. Moving on to the lips, I'm gonna reach for one of my favorite lip liners of all time. It is Soft Brown from NYX. I'm gonna make sure that it is sharp. I'm gonna line my lips, slightly overlining the Cupid's bow. What I like about this shade the most, although it's called Soft Brown, it kind of has a peachy undertone. So for me, this is the perfect lip liner for peachy, for corally, for all the summertime lipsticks you can think of, even orange. And for my lipstick, I'm gonna go for none other than Makeup by Mario Ultra Suede lipstick in the shade Sam. This is one of my favorites from the collection. It is the most beautiful orangey nude of all time. Also, the formula of these lipsticks is one of my favorites of all time as well. And it just gives the prettiest welcome to summer type of pop. All right, so now at this point, I'm gonna just add my waterproof mascara, maybe a pair of lashes, and then I'll show you what everything looks like in real light, in real life. Using my Essence Double Trouble waterproof mascara at first. When I got the lashes are on, and they are definitely adding to this look rather than taking away from it. I like the way that everything looks. And now I present to you the look Summer Proof by yours truly. All right, so now let's go over everything while we judge. So my main focus for today's look was to really summer proof, waterproof, sweat proof, and humidity proof my skin, because I am someone who is very oily, which means that the summer months are not not the best times for me when it comes to makeup. So I wanted to show you guys different tips and different tricks, different techniques that I do to help my makeup look fresh, to help it look natural, and to help it stay on all day, while also utilizing some of my new favorite products, new favorite techniques, while also looking natural, radiant, and my best in real life, in real light, in real life situations. So obviously, if you are following this look for the tutorial, you don't necessarily have to do all the steps. Just remember some of the key things that I talked about. Number one, strategic placement. I am very much about strategic placement lately. I don't like a heavy mask looking foundation. I'm not crazy about full coverage, especially in the summertime. I just find that in the warmer weather months, and also in most weather months, less is more when it comes to problematic, when it comes to oily skin. So for me, I found that less product actually can stretch further. It can actually do a lot more for my skin rather than piling on the pigment, rather than piling on the coverage. So in this instance, I strategically covered up my spots where I needed them to disappear, where I needed them to go away. I treated the zones where I produced the most oils with a little bit of extra help. I've set my under eye, I've brightened those areas of interest that I want to be brighter, that I want to look more lifted. And of course, I added all the color on top. So I added the blush, I added the fun pop with the eye. I used a waterproof, super easy to use shadow stick from Bobbi Brown to serve as like my all over base shadow. It's also very shimmery, very fun, very easy for day or night. And I added a very wearable, easy, but slightly more summertime friendly nude lipstick that has a pinch of a coral leaning undertone. So this is what I did. This is kind of like what I prepared for this video. This is what I prepared for myself going into the summer months. This is kind of like the makeup that I'm going to be doing. And although it may seem intimidating at first, keep in mind I'm speaking through all the steps that I am doing while I'm showing you. So it is taking a little bit long to show you, but once you get the hang of it, it honestly becomes like second nature. It becomes super duper easy. So with that said, let's head outside and let's see what it actually looks like in real life. You ready? All right, back in the studio, loving my look, loving the vibe, loving the mood. And now I am ready to say farewell. I hope you guys found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for leaving me all your comments and all your good positive thoughts and positive vibes. I send them right back at you. Love you guys. I wish you an awesome summer, and I will see you in my next video. Zoom it out so that you can click on more of my videos over here. Peace out, and I'm out.